Good day, good day, good day. What's going on, guys? Tuesday morning, December 16th, I want to say. Live from the Capsule, Manny Cabrera. I am here today on live, kind of doing my morning process, getting ready for my appointment today. I'm really excited about the project we're going to be working on. Today's going to be like a virgin, really cool Virgin Mary. Those are timeless pieces, religious pieces, black and gray. That stuff, you do it really well, and that's a tattoo that someone's gonna love for 20 years from now. So that's what we're doing this morning. But more importantly, the topic on this live is like the unsexy truth about leveling up, and like how I dropped a little bit about my back being a little bit sore last few days, and it's thrown me off a little bit because that repetition that I feel is what makes progress happen hasn't been happening. I haven't been able to work out regularly. So that kind of throws it off a little bit. So I have like these little holes in my day. I don't feel 100% because I'm not doing that, and because my back is still not 100%. And then, it just kind of throws everything off. And it's just like the unsexy truth about leveling up is that you do the same thing consistently over and over and over again, and that usually like compounds itself. You draw, until drawing becomes easy to you, and now you become creative, and now you're able to create your own things. You work out, until you start to see the results, and then you're gonna start fine tuning your diet, and you're gonna fine tune your sleep, and then you're gonna get the results, and it's just kind of like the way it is. And a lot of people are just and me as well. When I say a lot of people, I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about others that I notice in my reflection in that, but also in myself. I see it in myself. I'm never surprised whenever anything happens. Human says something, they do something, because I'm human too. And things cross my mind, and I feel a certain type of way. And some people have more restraint, or some people just don't deal with, don't panic, or whatever the case may be. But, a lot of people are addicted to the novelty. They're addicted to the novelty of just what they've always been doing. And repetition is the cheat code. Repetition is the cheat code. Keep doing the same thing over and over again. I, I always bring it back to the fitness thing. Even though I'm not like hyper fit, I feel like I'm in relatively good shape, especially since like how I used to be. I was a lot heavier. I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 pounds heavier or something. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll find some pictures at some point or another. And that's also subconsciously, I love all my tattoos, and that's part of the aesthetic of like why I do this and how I'm showing not only kind of how I do art, but how I wear art, and how I collect art, and how I perceive the tattoo collection ordeal, or how you get tattoos, like the purpose behind why people get tattoos. It's a whole bunch of different ones. Me, I'm a collector. Some of them mean stuff. Some of them just look really cool and they adorn my body. But yeah, repetition is the cheat code for sure. I'm gonna stick to the guns on that. You can try a whole bunch of things, but if you really want to get good at one particular skill set, a way of thinking, a way of looking, a way of eating, it's about doing that thing repetitively until it becomes boring. And most people quit because it's boring. You know what I mean? It's happened to me on every plane. On every plane, when I try to get creative and I try to like, oh, I'm gonna do this day, and then I'm gonna do that day, and then I'm gonna draw this day, and then I'm gonna do that day. It always, like, even though you are making progress, but you're not making like really, really linear progress. You're not really zoning in on that particular thing that you're wanting to get better at, but today I just wanted to come up on here and just kind of harp on that, because I can feel it in my day-to-day life right now, of how like the repetitiveness of my daily habits, because of the slight injury that I have on my back, is affecting, I think, and even mentally. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, you're not really like getting stuff done. You're really not like getting after it. You're not like jumping out of bed. And it's like, yeah, well, my fucking back hurts. But and with that being said, I'm just gonna be stenciling. I just wanted to come on here do a morning live, interact with anybody that was, on the path with me here, building something strong, um, day by day, and that's another, even another, rung to the ladder of like me always consistently coming on here, coming on the lives and doing things. And sometimes in my mind, I like everybody has that like ego, that consciousness, like, what are you doing? Or, some people maybe are hyper boastful and don't have it, but you're always like questioning yourself, like, what do you really have to talk about? Like, you know what I mean? You're going to go on there, just do your stencil. But repetition is the key. Repetition. Continue to do it. As I continue to do this, it's going to open up avenues of thought for me. It's going to plant seeds. People are going to comment and tell me, hey, maybe you should do this, or maybe I'm going to. As I'm doing something, I'm having the epiphanies. That happens to me all the time. I find the worth in the work. So again, the unsexy truth about leveling up, man, it gets boring, but if you're actually trying to see something solidify, you're gonna have to kind of do it over and over again until you get it right. Guys, you're going to have to forgive me for just one moment. Why? I think my cat is outside. Give me one moment. Yeah, that fool's outside, dude. And the thing about this guy, right? I got a cat. His name is Smokey Blue. There's one of the videos where he's like hanging out on this cat tree, right? This guy, bro, he likes to go outside and he likes to hang out in the sun right there. Because I have like a front patio in front of my house right there, so he likes to hang out in the sun. But then, I'm going in and out. Sometimes I open the door to air the place out or whatever. I'm not paying attention to where this dude is at. He's not going anywhere. He's never been outside, and he doesn't even run away. You can leave the door wide open. He'll just like he'll go out there and he'll kind of just like look around and just come back. Yo, Jeff, 2 times, brother. Hey, glad to see you in the chat, man. That's dope. That's dope. You know what I mean? I never thought you were on YouTube like that, but that's what's up, brother. I see you be getting your workout in. You know the drill about consistency and about getting after it, man. About doing that shit day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. And people look at you like, yo, what's your obsession? And it's like, bro, I'm trying to get somewhere. Like, and the only way to get there is this way. So you know what I mean? That's what we're gonna do. But today I'm doing like a super cool Virgin Mary piece. I already spoke to the client about that, and also finding the joy in the repetition and putting your spin on it. Because like, how many virgins haven't I done? How many Jesuses haven't I done? How many praying hands haven't I done? How many crosses haven't I done? Like, that's because of my ethnicity, because I'm Spanish, and because I like to do a lot of black and gray. It's like a cascading effect. I've done so many of them. So I can get to that point where it's like I can lose interest in it and be like, oh, well, I'm bored because I do this same thing over and over and over again. Absolutely not. I'm going to, every time I go at it, I'm going to try to fine tune it even better. I'm going to try to make that shade smoother. I'm going to try to put a spin on it where, I'm going to look at it, or I'm trying to get to the point where I can look at it, or someone else can look at it and be like, man, I've seen a lot of Jesuses, but not like that. I've seen a lot of praying hands, but not like that. And that's what you're always trying to look for. You're always trying to put your stamp on something, and that's how you put your stamp on it. You do it, you create it, you replicate it, especially in these instances, because I'm doing like a religious subject matter. So it's kind of an iconic look. I can draw one and be like, oh yeah, let's get creative with it. And there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna look at it and be like, I don't see Virgin Mary in that. But the typical, like, this isn't what this video is about. But the typical, you know who that is, dude. There's a rose right there, and there's like a cross right here. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna try to get as busy as I can with it, and I'm really excited to do this tattoo because it's an original design, and I'm fine enjoying the repetition, and I'm also seeing how it's affecting me and not doing my repetitive activity that I usually do because of my back. Like it doesn't even hurt anymore, but I have it here and I can feel like it's a little ginger. And my favorite thing to do is like push-ups and pull-ups. Is it worth the risk? You know what I mean? Do I want to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna work through it and then go do it, and then I bust my back out. Now I'm out for 2, 3 weeks. I'm kind of in that position, and I'm just gonna. I stretched out. I did a little bit of working out this morning, and now I'm just gonna stencil, dude. I'm chilling out, and I wanted to come on here and talk about, you know, how doing things over and over again is kind of where you're gonna get to where you want to go. And give me a moment because I'm gonna start stenciling, and if I don't start doing some of this stuff, I'm not gonna get nothing done because I'm just gonna keep talking and talking and talking. Um, no, and then not get none of this done, which is kind of what lives should be, unless I'm drawing something for the live. I'm kind of cheating right now, keep it 100 with you, because I'm like doing a design, but it doesn't have to do anything with like I'm not showing you guys what I'm doing. I'm talking about something completely different. But this is relative, and that's also, one of the key points in like my channel. What am I trying to say? Like my the storyline behind my channel, the I guess the theory, the message I'm trying to convey is that everything is relative. If you look at everything and you pay attention and skin it down, bare bones, you can see that everything is really relative. How you treat one thing, if you use those skills in this other element, you may have to tweak some things, but it works as well. There's a lot of rules to life that, people are always trying to reinvent the wheel, and not saying that you shouldn't try, because that's how things are invented and that's how new ideas come about. But, there's a lot of ideas that are just tried and true. Just work really hard, put in the time, learn the skill set, learn how to scale it. There you go. That gives you a living. Um, in health, in fitness, work out consistently, do it all the time, tweak your diet, you get the results. In reading and becoming smart, read all the time, read every day, digest the information, you'll become smart. And it's kind of really simple, but it's hard to do because we're extremely distracted as a society right now. We're extremely distracted as a society. I've had this conversation, and this is another video that I want to talk about. That it's one of those ones that I do want to talk about it because this is a platform, and I should have a lot of people listening to this, because I'm in a even though I tattoo, the public, but I'm in a room with like 4 or 5 other people, and they're thinkers, and we do experience a large amount of people, but it's nothing like the internet. You know what I mean? Like how many hundreds and thousands of people and likes and stuff that come through here, and I can get in perspective from. But I think that there's people that like most people consider weird, but I feel like they have a superpower, dude, because they could knock out the noise. They can knock out the noise. They could just be like, hey, I'm focused on this. And like, yeah, everybody else is doing this and we're doing that. And we're all enjoying life. And these guys are beelining to the finish line and getting to where they need to get, just because their life is stripped down to the bare bones, and they understand. They're just like, bro, like, it's here for you. It's here for you. No. The internet is a great place. I would say probably most of my ideas at this point are just like regurgitations. You know what I mean? That I've heard or listened to, or somehow I've been, programmed in some way to think the way I do, and it's just my environment, or I don't know, dude. Because where am I getting it all from? Where's it all coming from? Why do I think the way I think? Then you go down that rabbit hole, and there's nothing else to be said. But yeah, man, consistency, repetition, finding the excitingness in working towards the goal at hand. You know, it's gonna get boring, it's gonna get unsexy, but you're gonna get to where you said you wanted to go if you implement those laws. And that's just my opinion. I ain't nobody. I'm just a tattoo guy out of Sarasota. Oh, I'll get on here. 15. That's it, huh? What's going on in the chat? Jeff, you still there, man? Yeah, man. How you doing? How's things going on over there? Uh, how goes the family? Your family's big, man. Your family, you started way earlier than me, and you've. I'm sure there's a thing or two you can teach me. Uh, Lessons that life has taught you, because you think you know it all. I was one of those guys. I still am kind of one of those guys, man, where I'm just like, man, how can you not see that? How could, and it's like, bro, then you go through a certain experience and you're just like, oh, so it wasn't like that. It just, it it humbles you is what it does, makes you realize you don't know it all. And I've said this, and I say this all the time, and you could probably find this in another video that I've said. There's a guy, his name is Gary V, and a lot of people know him. He's like a social media influencer guy, but he also does like real business. He's one of these guys that like runs a real business as well. It's like a ad agency or something, and he's big on social media and what it can do for you and all the shit. And he says, he's like, yo, go to the nursing home and ask all the folks, ask all the folks at the nursing home, how they did life, what did they accomplish, if they could do anything over again. And more often than not, you're gonna find people that are gonna say, hey, if I would have done it all, I would have done everything exactly the same. But most people are not, because they're gonna realize hindsight's 2020. They made decisions that later on they found out that weren't the best. You know what I mean? But they had to eat it. It was done already. You know what I mean? Now we move on. We continue to go on, and I have those in my own life. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, shit, why did I do that? That was fucking stupid. But you know what? I live with it, man. It taught me. It taught me to be a specific type of way. It taught me to analyze things. It taught me to be consistent. And, everything isn't as I want it to be. It is as it is. Play it as it lays. Those are things that I've learned along the way. And I have that mentality where, first off, I'm the last child. So I'm like the baby of the family. And second off, I just kind of always had that mentality. I had that personality where it's just like, nah, man, like once I know something or once I feel like I know something, I'm like, I'm going to impose that. Like, no, this is the idea, and life has humbled me mad times, you know what I mean? And now that I have a couple of kids, even more so, because, they're really different. Both my kids are really different. And the way they interact with us is really different. And, there's times where, there's things that I want my daughter to be good at, and there's things that I want my son to be good at. And sometimes they're just not into it, and they don't like that. And it's not the way I want it to be. You know what I mean? You have to play the cards as they lay. And, just experience is going to teach you that. Life is going to be the teacher of that. And now that he's in the house, this is what I'm talking about. Now that he's in the house, and I love Smoke. Smoke's my daughter's cat. Now he goes in on this Murphy bed. There's like a Murphy bed behind me. There's like this big, I don't know if you guys can see it. There's like this big, like a big cabinet type thing, and it's a Murphy bed. What is he doing in there? Wants to rip it apart. Wants to rip the bottom off of it, and it's like, dog, like, relax, bro. Like, what are we doing here? But whatever, dude. Yeah, he's a menace, bro. I don't know if I said this earlier. Like, whenever you leave him outside, he'll like claw at the door, and he claws at the door, and there's like a little rubber seal that goes on the door, and he'll tear that shit up. And I have to have to change this thing. It used to be $3. It was just like one piece of mold. It's $6 now. I've had to do it like 4 or 5 times this year already. I'm just like, dude, I'm like, I'm a couple $100 into the door frame with this freaking cat. And it's not even like we're doing anything wrong. He goes out there and then like you go to throw the garbage out, or you close the door and you go to take a shower, and then this thing will rip the door apart because he's trying to get in the house. And it's like, dog, what are you doing? But that's what happens when you got pets, man. And now I understand. See, experience. I've always had animals and stuff like that, but I always rented. I own this place now. Every time some shit breaks, every time some shit is my shit. You know what I mean? Where the kitty litter is, I'm like all cleaning the corner, making sure the floor doesn't get ruined. And now I know why there's landlords that's like, yo, no animals, dog. Yeah, but my dog is really well behaved. Yeah. So you leave him alone for 2 days and he eats the door. I get it. I'm not an animal hater. I love animals. But when you live with them indoors specifically, I live in a condo. I don't even have a yard. So the cat can't, every other cat that we've ever had before Smoke, we lived in homes, because we live in Florida, so we lived in home, and the cats were indoor, outdoor cats. He's an indoor cat, so he's high energy. I get it, and I love the cat, but he's gonna destroy shit, and he's gonna cost me money. Just is what it is. You know what I mean? You got a dog, you live in a condo, you live in an apartment. Unless you're running that dog consistently and stuff like that, or the dog is like hyper old, yeah, it's gonna cost you money, nigga. One day he's gonna chew up the floor. He's going to, piss on the somewhere you're not gonna notice it, and then it's gonna rot the floor out. Something's gonna happen. It's the same thing with kids, bro. Like my daughter's 6. I would have thought she would have grew out of this already. She'll grab a marker and just go crazy on the refrigerator. Like, to draw on paper and write on. Like, I get it with Micah does it. Micah's 2, 3. You know what I mean? Um, but bruh, it's crazy. But so is life, and I went off on a tangent there. I'm sorry. In these lives, and again, I'm gonna go back to that, and that's why people like these lives. That's why people connect with these lives, because you have to be you. I can talk about something, and this whole video was centered around leveling up and doing what you have to do, being consistent, doing what you say you were gonna do, so you can get the results you say you were gonna get. You say you were gonna get. I don't know why that sounded weird. Do what you say you were gonna do, so you get what you say you were gonna get, or yeah, something like that. But it's all the fumbles. It's all the I changed a lot. Money corrupted me. Money didn't corrupt me. I don't have any money. I wish I had money. That'd be great. I'm a working class Joe. I'll be honest with you, man. Be honest. I work. I work. I gotta go to work today. What I'm doing right now is getting ready for work. This stencil that I'm doing is to go to work today. I'm just on here giving my perspective and drawing and designing with the folks. Where Bass RC? Where do I know you from, my good sir or good lady? Where do I have the pleasure of knowing you from? But yeah, so but I was saying, like, on the live, you become real. You can't put on a show. It's like work. That would be mega work. You know what I mean? For you to put on a show, I'm gonna go live, and now I gotta like, boop, this is who I am, but then I'm not that person. That would be pretty hard to do. I can see how you can do that on content that you're editing. That makes sense. But like just like on lives. So, but for me, lives are better because this is what I do anyway. I was telling one of my coworkers the other day, the guy that I really admire, Will Ralston. He does amazing artwork, amazing airbrush guy. He does like airbrushy type tattooing and super dope. Will Ralston. I'll drop his Instagram handle in the comments, and you guys can go check out his work. And I was telling him, I'm like, I do this shit anyway. I'm stenciling all the time. I'm drawing all the time. I'm constantly, a lot of this stuff, like I'd be talking to myself, dude. And like, oh yeah, you gotta do this. Yo, you can't, blah, 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 blah. So, I was just like, if, if, um, if we're going into an era, and I've been one to bucket, you know what I mean? Like, even though I've had social media, I've never like exploited social media and or used social media to as a tool like a lot of people tried to get that message to me a long time ago. Like, hey, you should do this. You have a lot of people that do that, and you should. And I was just like, dude, I already do like a whole bunch of stuff, and their angle was like, you can make money off of it, and I have jobs. I had jobs, so I wasn't trying to make money off of it, but now as I get older, and have been doing this profession for going on a decade now, I guess. um I find that, and I found this a lot already, that like when you're kind of teaching and or talking out loud, that's when you're kind of retaining more of the information. So that helps me doing this is helping me learn myself a little bit better. I'm getting to actually, I watch these things back and kind of see how I look, what I said, how stupid that was. And then I also get to have a body of work, which is also like a different medium, which is like, content creation, being able to explain myself in a way, being able to help others maybe decipher ideas. And then maybe I can do some shirts. Maybe I could design some shirts, some cell phone cases. Maybe I could hold a art meet where like-minded individuals that we kind of all get on here, and I have a community of people that we kind of all do the same thing, and we're all I admire within the tattoo industry, like the biomechanical genre, because all of those guys kind of know each other, because they all kind of do something very similar, and they all do like these collabs. And when they do these collabs, you can see how crazy it gets and how both of these minds are working. And it's just, like I said, me doing this is going to open the doors for many other things, I believe, because it's going to give me new ideas. I'm going to interact with new people that I usually wouldn't. It's going to make me be more confident in how I speak, see where I kind of repeat myself a lot. It's going to keep me honest about my physical well-being, like, you know what I mean? I know that I have to uh, I'm looking at myself on camera without a shirt. I know that I have to relatively stay in shape and healthy. I got a couple young kids. This will be cool for maybe my kids to watch in 10 years. There's like so many reasons for me to do it, and there's not that many reasons for me not to do it. um, there's not that many reasons for me not to do it, because um, my personality is one that I not only require, and I'm invest mental health and happiness when I'm busy, but that's like who I am. I kind of can't sit there and do nothing. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to do that. It's hard for me to sleep. I don't sleep like most people. Like, 10 minutes, I'm going to sleep. Absolutely not, dude. It takes me 30, 40 minutes sometimes. Sometimes I don't sleep, dude. I just like sitting there because I'm thinking about stuff. It's just, dog, I'm just like that person. I'm kind of hyperactive. So this gives me something else to do, something else to fill that void with, and to get better at, and you know, um, put some more unsexiness in this repetition. That's it. I'm gonna keep doing it, bro, and I find joy in it, and that's okay. That's all that matters to me right now. I'm finding joy in it. My daughter watches YouTube a lot. I find that that's cool. That like sometimes I'll do like a video, and I'll show her. I'll be like, "Hey, look, look. This was me. Look, I changed the thumbnail. I changed the thumbnail on my new thing." And she'll look at it, and like before, it used to just be like a live thing, and that's why I like doing the lives, because I'll keep it 100 with you. Is more of a lazy approach. I don't have to edit anything. I just and I'm comfortable being myself. I just pop this jammy on, and then I go to the drawing. Sometimes I'll write a couple of things down just so I can like bullet points of what I want to talk about, and that's that, man. But now I learned how to do thumbnails. That's another video that I want to go about. And same thing, bro. I learned it on YouTube. I was like, yo, how do I make thumbnails on my Procreate? Well, and I learned it. I put it on. Now I make like pretty cool, and I already do art, digital art and stuff like that. And it kind of told me already how to do it, but I know how to use color choice and how to make things pop and use the color wheel and how to make things graphic, how to blur things out, how to focus things. So I'm already I know how to do it. I just needed to know the format of how to like make it. So now my things look like a little bit more professional. If you guys want to go check those out, go ahead and check out all those lives in the past that I changed you can see how it went from like pretty whack imagery, I think, or just like, basic, someone who doesn't really know what they're doing, they're just shooting and putting it up there. So like now I do, and I like doing that. I like going to show her like, hey, look, I changed my thumbnail. And she'll, you know what I mean? Like she don't know what to say. She just smiles at me like, oh shit, that shit is fun to me. And that matters to me. That's fun to me. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. But I appreciate everybody chiming in. If this hits, if anybody chimed in and anything that I said hit you, like that stream, build something strong. That's all I can say. Build something strong through repetition. That's my only advice, and the only thing that has worked for me is like kind of just picking what it is that you want to get good at. Anything, pick it. Close your eyes and pick it and do it repetitiously for an elongated amount of time. Do it for 90 days. Do it for 90 days, every day if you can, every other day if you can't, if it's not physically possible, and you'll see a difference. You'll see a significant difference. 90 days, 3 months, that's all it takes. Do that for 4 quarters, and you'll see a difference. And then you'll look at your stuff and you'll be like, oh, wow, I would have never imagined, you know? I'm gonna be trying to clip a lot of these lives into shorts, so check back for those as well. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you, Jeff, 2 times. Thanks for checking in, brother. Bass RC, if you want to go ahead and drop me a message and let me know exactly who you are, that'd be cool. If not, we could chat through here, and just look out for the shorts, the lives, and I'm on here to do art. It's a mindset channel and also show you how you grow through repetition. All right, man. Have a great day, guys.